We bring you the morning edition of MBC News with me, Upile Kaisa. Our top stories. President Mutharika extends a message of goodwill to Malawians for the festive season. Individual well-wishers and organizations manifest their generosity through various donations to the needy in the festive season. And banana farmers in Tiolo pin their hopes on the increased 5 billion kwacha Constituency Development Fund allocation to revive an industry devastated of disease decades ago. And now the news in detail. President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika has extended a message of goodwill to Malawians for the festive season, further describing 2025 as the year of rescuing the nation. Professor Mutharika says since he assumed office in October this year, he has devoted his focus and energy to address the challenges facing the country, which include the 4 Fs, forage of food, fuel, forex and fertilizers. He has since called on the nation to uphold peace throughout the festivities and to welcome the new year with renewed dedication to hard work and patriotism. Vice President Dr. Jane Ansah has commended Nkhani Mission Hospital for its continued efforts in reducing maternal deaths and providing quality health care services to the public. Dr. Ansah said although maternal deaths at the facility have increased from 1 last year to 8 this year, largely due to teenage pregnancies, the hospital is still doing commendable work under challenging circumstances. The Vice President made the remarks after touring the maternity ward and donating Christmas hampers to expectant mothers and women who delivered babies on Christmas Day. Austin Fokula reports.
As part of the Christmas celebrations, Dr. Ansah cheered patients at the Christian Health Facility and handed over hampers to mothers in the maternity ward. She also named the only baby girl among the 4 children born on Christmas Day, Jane, after herself. Justice Ansah further encouraged Malawians to use the festive season to celebrate and accept Jesus Christ as their personal savior. The Vice President, who was herself born at Nkhani Mission Hospital, together with her first child, said it was pleasing to note that the facility produces its own oxygen, which it freely distributes to other public health facilities.
I can see that the members of staff are all dedicated. This is a Christian hospital and they are doing a commendable job. I went to the neonatal ward where there are premature children, and even with very little weight, and the care and the facilities that are there, they are not far from what I saw in the neonatal clinic in London and Derby Hospital. So Nkhani Hospital is doing very well.
Meanwhile, Head of Clinical Services at Nkhani Mission Hospital, Dr. Vincent Moyo, said the hospital is facing serious staff shortages which affects service delivery. Dr. Moyo also disclosed that the erratic power supply remains a major challenge, adding that the facility requires an independent power source to ensure uninterrupted health services.
Currently, at this hospital, maybe I would say the people who are working here, 50% are paid by government, 50% are paid by the hospital. So it's not easy for the hospital to pay its own staff because it has to get finances from the user fees or well-wishers, which is not always the case. So this is one of the major challenges, and also the supply chain of resources to use is another big challenge. Even when you have some funds, sometimes you don't get the products that we want to get on the market.
Nkhani Mission Hospital, located in Lilongwe district, was established over 100 years ago and serves close to 100,000 people within its catchment areas of Lilongwe and in other districts. According to Dr. Moyo, the number of beneficiaries rises to about 400,000 people beyond the hospital's official catchment area. Austin Fukula, MBC News, Lilongwe.
Minister of Gender Equality Community Development and Social Welfare Mary Navicha has called on Malawians to show love, unity and compassion by supporting the needy and persons with disabilities during the festive season. Navicha made the remarks during special prayers organized by Glorious Light International Church, where the church also distributed food items to persons with disabilities. Details in this report by Mike Kalumbi.
Speaking during the prayers, Minister Navicha said the Christmas and the New Year festive season provides an opportunity for the people to demonstrate love and unity by sharing food and other essential items with the less privileged. She appealed to individuals, faith-based organizations and churches across the country to actively participate in supporting vulnerable groups during this period.
The Christ we are celebrating today is love. He teaches us to love one another. And what Bishop Simama and the entire church has done is a true reflection of love. We really need to love one another, and we should invest in those that are less privileged, disabilities, and so many challenges. So what we've seen here is so touching, and I'm so excited.
In his remarks, Bishop Simama of Glorious Light International Church said the church deemed it necessary to reach out to persons with disabilities by providing food and other basic necessities as part of commemorating the birth of Jesus Christ.
Christianity is all about love. We've been doing this every year. And to us, we've been taught by our spiritual father, Prophet T.B. Joshua, that you cannot say you love God if you don't love people of God. So we're just expressing what is our responsibility to do as children of God. Being a child of God is all about love. And being someone who has God, you express love in action. And that's exactly what we are doing.
During the festive season, churches and individuals across the country engage in activities such as prayers and charitable outreach aimed at uplifting the needy and promoting social cohesion. Mike Kalumbi, MBC News, Lilongwe.
The Saulos Klaus Chilima Foundation has called on individuals and companies to support patients in hospitals during the festive period. Board chairperson Mary Chilima made the call at Kamuzu Central Hospital in Lilongwe during the donation of food items, saying the initiative continues the late Dr. Saulos Klaus Chilima's legacy of visiting and encouraging patients during Christmas. The foundation has made similar donations to Queen Elizabeth Central Hospital and Mzuzu Central Hospital, with the total value of the donations standing at 7.4 million kwacha. Chilima explains.
This Christmas, the SKC Foundation is not only at Kamuzu Central Hospital, but it's also at Mzuzu Central Hospital and Queen Elizabeth Central Hospital, donating foodstuffs for Christmas Day. So we're donating rice, beef, and vegetables to make sure that the patients that are in hospital on Christmas Day get a little bit of Christmas cheer. This is continuing the legacy of SKC because he would go around hospitals cheering the sick on Christmas Day. I'm wishing them well, sending them healing energies and mercies and asking God's hand to touch them, but also to encourage them that though it might be hard to be in hospital during Christmas, there's always a light at the end of the tunnel, and I pray that they will all be healed and enter the new year in good health and in good spirits.
We are very thankful for such a gesture. We are honored that amongst the hospitals that are on the list as beneficiaries of SKC Foundation, we are the beneficiaries. And this goes a long way because our patients and even members of staff who are working on Christmas, they expect something from us. So it also helps us to cater for our needs on such an occasion. We call upon everybody to come and cheer our children. I always say the hospital is not a graveyard. It's a place, it should be a place of hope. So please come and assist us in any way that you can.
A local non-profit organization, Better.org, has rolled out its Christmas of Joy initiative, bringing festive relief to vulnerable households and hospital patients in Blantyre as part of the Christmas celebrations. The initiative has also revealed that many vulnerable households in urban areas are struggling with hunger and lack of basic necessities. Arthur Chokoto reports.
Under the initiative themed Sharing Joy, Inspiring Hope, Better Org has distributed food and household hampers through selected churches and at Queen Elizabeth Central Hospital to support families facing economic hardships, illness, and social vulnerability during the festive season. The organization reached out to Mount Carmel CCAP, Malawi Assemblies of God, Beraka International Center, Light of Life Global Assembly, and St. Columba CCAP Church, where 25 hampers and symbolic checks worth 2 million kwacha at each place were handed to church leadership for honored distribution to needy congregants.
The beneficiaries have been randomly selected from zones, cell groups. Yeah, so they are leaders in those cell groups that we are consulted to shortlist some beneficiaries.
We concentrate on the spiritual growth of a human being, but Better Org has touched in an area where a physical growth of a person. So it covers the human being as a whole.
It's a social welfare committee that now reaches out to the people on behalf of the church. So with the coming in of the hampers, for sure, it will help us a lot. Don't look at how much money the people maybe give to St. Columba, but maybe how many souls that we have to feed.
At Queen Elizabeth Central Hospital, Better Org members also discovered that many patients and their guardians are in need of support from well-wishers.
My name is Anne. I'm a nursing officer in Ward 4A. Okay, you have received the donation today. Maybe how can this donation help the livelihood of your patients? All right, so this donation has really helped our patients, especially those who have been in the ward for quite some time. Especially during this festive season of Christmas, whereby a lot of people are being at home and enjoying their Christmas festival with their friends and relatives. So for your coming, it has brought a lot of joy and comfort to our patients.
According to Better Org National Director Bridget Mbeya, the program aims to restore dignity and hope to affected families.
We thought it was that we have been doing many initiatives in Malawi. And then we thought that we have many marginalized people in Malawi, but if we want to help them, if we go out there in the street, we cannot find them, we cannot allocate them, because we cannot know that this one is a marginalized person. So we thought that each and everyone in Malawi, they belong to a certain religion. So we decided that at least if we can go into churches and then meet church elders and then discuss with them, maybe they can give us names of those people, we can share something with them on this Christmas season.
Better Org has members in Malawi and in the diaspora who are committed to helping address various challenges including hunger, poverty and environmental degradation. Arthur Chokoto, MBC News, Blantyre.
The Catholic Church under the Mzuzu Diocese says it will continue coming up with initiatives aimed at protecting the lives of the elderly in the country to enable them lead dignified lives. St. Bernadette Parish Priest Father Tony Mfune was speaking during the elderly Christmas lunch organized by the community of St. San Diego. And more details in this report by Grant Muhango.
Speaking during the elderly Christmas lunch organized by the community of St. Egidio, Father Tony Mfune of St. Bernadette Parish under the Mzuzu Diocese of the Roman Catholic Church called upon various stakeholders to join hands in fighting against abuses targeting the elderly in the country. Father Mfune then called upon various stakeholders to champion laws and regulations that would help to cushion the elderly from the economic hardships.
It was part of the celebration, but also to strengthen them, to tell them that they're part of the community and they're very important because they're the ones who have institutional memory of different institutions in this country.
Chairperson of the organizing committee, Peter Mumba, challenged the youth to desist from any act of violence towards the elderly, which has been on the increase in the recent years.
We need to change, and we need to change. We need to have hard laws, good laws to protect these elderly. Unfortunately, we haven't seen such laws. Yes, they're in the book, but be executed very little. The chiefs sometimes they're doing very little. I think we as Malawians are doing very little to protect these elderly people. So we have a very big assignment.
Muzu City Southeast parliamentarian William Kaweche called on fellow parliamentarians to prioritize the elderly in their programming.
CDF is only indicating Women's Empowerment Fund and Youth Empowerment Fund. And again, we'll look into that so that these elders can also have at least a package of this fund so that we can be helping them in different ways.
One of the elders, Doni Muhango of Mchengautua in the city, expressed fear over the growing acts of violence targeting the elderly in the country, further calling for more action against the vice. Grant Muhango, MBC News, Mzuzu.
You're watching MBC News. A reminder of our top stories. President Mutharika extends a message of goodwill to Malawians for the festive season. Individual well-wishers and organizations manifest their generosity through various donations to the needy in the festive season. And banana farmers in Tiolo pin their hopes on the increased 5 billion kwacha Constituency Development Fund allocation to revive an industry devastated of disease decades ago. Welcome back. The National Registration Bureau (NRB) says government has approved the extension of validity for expired nation identity cards to 1 January 2027. In a statement signed by NRB Principal Secretary Patrick Machika, the Bureau says all expired national ID cards will remain valid for all official and transactional purposes in Malawi during the extended period. The NRB says the decision will allow adequate time to complete the renewal, printing and distribution of about 2 million expired ID cards nationwide, while ensuring uninterrupted access to essential services. The Bureau has directed all ministries, departments and agencies, as well as private institutions, to continue accepting expired national ID cards as valid identification until the deadline. The commercial hub in Limbe Blantyre has started regaining her beauty. This comes following the relocation of vendors who are plying their businesses in undesignated places. Charles Pensulo reports.
Wearing a new face. Since last month, Limbe, a town located in the southern part of Malawi, is fast regaining her beauty. Vendors who had been plying their business in undesignated places are now being returned to their authorized spaces. In the past, people patronizing the business hub avoided going to Limbe, fearing of being robbed. The loitering of the vendors is now fast disappearing, making the CBD much more conducive for business. Now people are able to move freely and business is happening orderly. The development has excited residents, including a member of the Asian community, Fadik Siddiqui, who operates a business in the township.
In this instance, we also found that cleaning up of Limbe was very important as part of the community, because the main important aspect of this cleaning initiative was to protect public health. When you come to poor waste management, it leads to a lot of diseases.
On a daily basis, Limbe registers many crimes, including accidents. According to the police, the development will assist in reducing crimes as well as accidents, at the same time creating a conducive environment to traffic. Sam Kajole is Deputy Public Relations Officer for Limbe Police Station.
This will also help us to ease security in Limbe. You know, when vendors are doing their businesses along the road, it brings unnecessary congestions along the road. So to avoid some accidents and other happenings like thefts that happen due to congestion in the town, I think the mayor is helping us to ease that security.
The relocation is being championed by Mayor for Blantyre City, Isaac Jomo Osman. Immediately after he was voted mayor of the city, Jomo Osman has been moving around the CBD to stop vendors from loitering around and improve trading in the area.
You need to become a leader, you need to have your own vision. So my vision is to see Blantyre clean. My vision is to see people walking freely in the streets of Blantyre. My vision to see the streets being very clean.
The excitement, people are looking forward to seeing the total implementation of the initiative so that Limbe regains its beauty and becomes a conducive business environment it used to be known for. Charles Pensulo, MPC News, Blantyre.
Farmers in Cholo, once a thriving hub for banana production, are now pinning their hopes on the increased 5 billion kwacha Constituency Development Fund allocation to revive an industry devastated by disease decades ago. Our reporter George Banda filed the story from Molele, which is being read by Jin Samba.
In the early 1980s and 90s, Molele was the heart of Malawi's banana trade, as farmers from surrounding villages sold massive quantities of bananas here, with trucks transporting the fruit across the country. But that glory faded when banana bunch top disease, known locally as Chisaka, struck, destroying plantations and forcing farmers to import bananas as far as the neighboring Mozambique. Frank Kanyoza is a banana farmer, and he now recalls the good old days.
We used to call this place Tekelan. Several trucks could load bananas up to the top, and some people could fall from the vehicles. But because of the bunch-top disease, all the bananas are gone despite several attempts by agricultural officials. We used to sell the bunch at 500 kwacha. I am sure I can now make more profits, but things are not okay.
However, according to some banana farmers and authorities in Cholo district, there is hope that with the increased 5 billion kwacha Constituency Development Fund CDF allocation, chances of increasing the banana production in Cholo are very high.
Government has done well because a lot of farmers are unable to replace the banana plantations due to bunch-top disease. With the CDF, a lot of farmers stand to benefit so that we can even get manure. It's true, we need to change our mindset as farmers because of climate change so that we should do well in farming.
Panopa tikuenda pamutu oti tisinthe kaganizidwe pamene nyengo ikusintha ifenso tisinthe mwina kumayeserera ulimi ngati wanthochi tithaso kumachita bwino.
Tofuna kulimbikira. We just have to work hard so that we can be assisted. Yekuti muthu upeza thandizo.
Christopher Kamwaza, extension worker for Masambanjati EPA, believes many banana farmers will benefit from the CDF, leading to higher yields and a strong banana farming production.
I think that will be good to the farmers because it will give more farmers to get a lot of banana sagas so that they can grow in a different plots, especially at their own homes. As a result, if more farmers will be having banana fields, that means they will have food security at the household level as well as income. Not only that, they will also increase their family nutrition, which is the goal of the Malawi government of Vision 2063.
Cholo District Director of Agricultural Services, Jackson Mvuladziko, is calling for a mindset change, urging communities to prioritize farming in CDF projects.
It's very possible that we can revamp banana production in Cholo District Council. There are several factors that can affect the banana production. The mindset of farmers. Just because before we distribute clean planting materials, that is suckers, the first thing that we are mobilizing our communities to uproot the affected ones, then so that we can give them the clean planting material. So with the coming of this 5 billion, we think we are going to achieve that one just because we are going to have sensitization meetings that we are going to sensitize the communities. So with the well-managed utilization of 5 billion CDF, we are sure that we are going to revamp the banana production in Cholo District.
With this 5 billion kwacha CDF funding injection, authorities and farmers here believe Cholo's banana sector will be revamped, bringing jobs, income and pride back to the district.
World leaders have delivered their Christmas messages with a call for unity and peace among countries. During his first Christmas remarks to a crowd at St. Peter's Square, the Catholic Church leader, Pope Leo XIV, urged Ukraine and Russia to engage in direct talks to end their war. Telson Magomba with a report.
In his remarks to worshippers gathered in Vatican City, the head of Catholic Church has called for an end to conflicts around the world, encouraging parties to engage in sincere, direct and respectful dialogue.
Overwhelm them. The child born today in Bethlehem is the same Jesus who says, "In me you may have peace. In the world you have tribulation, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world." From God let us ask for justice, peace and stability for Lebanon, Palestine, Israel, Syria. Trusting in these divine words, the effect of righteousness will be peace, and the result of righteousness, quietness and trust forever.
On the other hand, the monarch of United Kingdom's King Charles III message focused on the theme of pilgrimage and faith. He emphasized the importance of unity, compassion and reconciliation, highlighting the values of different faiths and communities.
Journeying is a constant theme of the Christmas story. The Holy Family made a journey to Bethlehem and arrived homeless without proper shelter. The wise men made a pilgrimage from the east to worship at the cradle of Christ. And the shepherds journeyed from field to town in search of Jesus, the Savior of the world. In each case, they journeyed with others and relied on the companionship and kindness of others. Through physical and mental challenge, they found an inner strength. To this day, in times of uncertainty, these ways of living are treasured by all the great faiths and provide us with deep wells of hope, of resilience in the face of adversity, peace through forgiveness, simply getting to know our neighbors, and by showing respect to one another.
The US President Donald Trump also gave his message commending his administration's achievements, including record stock market, low crime rates, and strong nation security. It's time to remember that Jesus was born to save humanity from sin and death, fulfilling prophecies and bringing hope to the world. Toson Magombo, MBC News.
Well, that item concludes this edition of MBC News. A reminder of our top stories before we leave. President Mutharika extends a message of goodwill to Malawians for the festive season. Individual well-wishers and organizations manifest their generosity through various donations to the needy in the festive season. And banana farmers in Tiolo pin their hopes on the increased 5 billion kwacha Constituency Development Fund allocation to revive an industry devastated of disease decades ago. Visit our digital platforms by scanning the QR code at the top right corner of your TV screen, or get the latest news by subscribing to SMS services by dialing *364#. You are with me, Obile Kaisa. Thanks for watching. Good morning.